Banks coming today from Banks Credit Chat, discussing the debt manager program and dangers and concerns that can come with it if you're utilizing a debt manager program. If you're in a situation where you've kind of close to the limit of your credit cards or almost to the point of being maxed out. Now, typically I'm a proponent of the debt manager program, and this video is no way going to reflect anything contrary to my other videos in the past discussing the benefits of the debt manager program. However, if you find yourself in a situation where you're going to utilize a debt management program, you need to be aware about it, especially if you're close to the limit on or maxed out on some of your credit cards. Essentially, what a debt management program does, it allows you to put on the cards that you want that are close to being maxed out or having issues with higher interest rates. It consolidates into one payment plan, typically at a lower interest rate. Great. However, let's say you're going to keep a couple of other cards off. Say you have, I'm using a simple example here, you have about 5 different credit cards you're going to put on the debt management program, and they have a credit limit of, one has a credit limit of $4,000, you've got $3,950, and another one has $3,000 and you're $2,900, and you decide to keep some other cards off, and they have, maybe more wiggle room, maybe $1,000 or $2,000 that you decide to keep these particular cards off the plan. The danger comes in when the cards that you do have on the debt management program, once the creditors see that those cards are now closed and they're on the debt management program to be consolidated to a lower payment, they can have an adverse effect on the cards that you keep off. So what I mean by adverse effect here is that those card limits can then become cut. It's not guaranteed. It's just to where they're looking and assessing, banks assessing the situation, your financial situation as a whole. They just may decide to cut those limits. And I've just had a recent conversation with someone that was on a debt management program, and they had 2 other cards that they kept off. And those credit limits, they had about $1,000, or maybe in the case, maybe $400 left, $1,400. Well, they decided to just cut those limits to be exactly what they have on the balance itself. And any money that they put towards it, they just utilize it to pay off or whatever their amount of money that they were doing. So that's a concern that you need to be mindful of if you decide to use a debt management program. Any account that's off the plan, they have, especially in the economic climate that we're in and we're getting ready to face, and it's a lot of talk about recession. The banks, they're not immune to it. They're trying to protect their bottom line, and so they may cut those credit limits for the cards that you decide to keep off. As a whole, the debt management program is the best solution if you find yourself in a situation where you can't pay the debt obligations as a whole, because it allows you to pay those credit card balances at a lower interest rate, and it consolidates it. It's usually a simple payment plan, one payment plan for the rest of those cards. The danger comes is to the cards that are kept off. Any cards that's kept off, you might have an issue where they may cut those limits, which makes it more difficult for you to, especially if you're close to the limit on the cards that you kept off, you just have to be mindful of that. Just want to throw that little tidbit in, especially people who are utilizing the debt management program. Some people are not aware of that until it actually happens. And I've just recently had a conversation with someone who did. He said, "Are you aware of this?" I said, "Yeah, I've noticed about that. I didn't know that the other basis of your whole situation, because I'm not in that space as a credit counselor anymore. It's just for 5-6 years that I was operating one. I did used to see that, and typically that happens around when the banks feel that we're close to recession, or they feel some kind of systemic risk." Again, as a whole, the debt management program, fantastic thing for you to do, is one of the best solutions if you find yourself in a situation where you can't pay the debt obligations under the payment terms that they have outlined. Just be mindful of any card that you keep off the debt management program, they can cut the limits, especially if they seem that it's an economic rough turbulence ahead. So just be mindful of that, and you'll be okay. If this video has been any value to you, please subscribe, leave some comments, hit the like button. Until my next video, Banks Credit Chat, I'm out.